Okay, welcome to day 3 of week 3. All right, here we go with yesterday's exit ticket, 5/7 plus 1/5. Hopefully you found the common denominator to be 35. Maybe you didn't even have to do this step because you just looked at it and said, I've done 7 to 5 so many times, I know it's 35. That's it. That happens after you continuously practice these. So, find 35, then you have to turn 5/7 into having a denominator of 35. So that 7 becomes 35. Well, I can just magically do it. How did I do it? I times it by 5. So then I times this 5 by 5 to get 25/35. And now I have to change the 1/5 with the denominator of 35. Well, how many times did it take me to get from 5 to 35? I can also look at my chart here to see 7 times it took me to get there. So 1 times 7 will give you 7/35. Last step, unless it has to be simplified, is 25/35. That, which used to be 5/7. Add 7/35, which used to be 1/5. They're equivalent, remember that? Add it up, and you get 32nd 35ths. Easy way to look at this. This is 35, right? So, does this number end with a 0 or 5? So then it can't be divided by 5. So then you're done. Right? Are you sure? Double check. The other way to look at this is, can this number, I mean, yes, that is very true. Cannot be divided by 5. But is there anything else it could be divided by? Maybe. This is an even number. That's not. So you definitely know it can't be divided by 2 or 5. And I'm done. So 32nd 35th is the simplest form. So today, we're going to take it to the next level. Keep stepping up here. Where we are adding fractions of unlike denominators. And we're going to get an improper fraction when we do it today. So then the next step would be to make that improper a mixed number. That's be our 4th step. All right, you ready for this? Let's do it. Find the common denominator for 2/3 and 5/6. What's the common denominator between 3 and 6? Easiest would be just to use 6, which means 2/3 will become something 6. Well, how many times did it take me to get from 3 to 6? 2. So you times the 2 by 2 to get 4. How many times did it take me to get from 6 to 6? Whoa, Mr. Brisbane, what do you mean 6 to 6? I didn't do anything. Yeah, so you just keep it. 5/6. You want to be all systematical, you could just say 6 times 1 and 5 times 1. Now for my 3rd step, which we did yesterday, I'm going to take the 4/6 and the 5/6, add them up. Don't add the denominators. Keep the denominator where it's at. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Now I have 9/6. I can't stop here. I'm going into 6th grade. That's not going to be allowed. I need to now take what's improper here, make it into a mixed number. So with that being said, one of the quickest, easiest ways to do this is division. You might have remembered this past year, another way of doing it was to look at 9/6 and break it apart, the part whole. And break this apart to see if you can make a whole number at all, right? So you could break this up. Well, how many, is there, the 6 go into 9? Yeah. So I could have a 6/6. What other number plus 6 gives you 9? 3. 3/6. So this 6/6, you should remember, means 1. Which means my answer is 1 3/6. That works. It can be simplified. We're not going to worry about that right now. But it's 1 3/6. The way I want you to really think about this is through division. Okay? I want you to realize the denominator is the number that's inside. The denominator down. Inside. It's going inside the 9. You want to find out how many 6s go into 9. So 9, you technically bring the 9 down to divide 6 into it. So the 6 is going into the 9. You say, how many 6s go into 9? 1. You know it's got to be at least 1 because it's improper. Then you do 1 times 6 equals 6. You subtract to get 3. Can 6 go into 3? Nope. And that's where I'm going to stop. 3 is not my remainder. We're making it into a fraction. So I'm going to have 3 as my numerator. 6 stays as my denominator. Does not change. So I have 1 3/6. I'm going to stay here for today. All right? I could simplify it. If you were like, Mr. President, I knew these steps, I got this, then go ahead and simplify it. You simplify it, you'll divide by 2 for 2. Nope, you can't divide by 2 because 6 and 3 don't be divided by 2. So you're going to divide by 3. And you'll get 1 and 1/2. It would be the simplest form. But we're staying here for right now. For those who are not feeling 100% confident with how to make an improper fraction a mixed number. So let's go to number 2. I'm going to keep these steps over here. All right? Don't tell me, oh, I don't know how to do this. You know how to do at least the first 3 steps. So get to that part. Show me you can at least do those steps. If you're stuck, unpause the video, and then I'll work you through step 4 again. But I'd rather you give it a try at least. So go ahead, do as much as you can for number 2. Hit the pause button now. Okay, so here's where we're at. Maybe you picked up on 5 and 4. You realize the denominator being 20 without even having to break it down this way. But maybe you don't know how many times it takes you to do 5 into 20, which is why it's beneficial to do this chart. So 5, it took you 4 times to get to 20. So you do 4 times 4 to give you 16/20 as your equivalent fraction. Then 3/4. How many 4s did it take you to get to 20? 5 of them. So you do 3 times 5 to give you 15. Now I'm going to add them together to get 31/20. Don't add the denominator. Don't do it. Now I have 31/20. So what am I going to do? I got to use division here. I got to make my 20 on the outside because I want to see how many 20s go into my top number, into the numerator. Okay? Don't do the opposite. If you do the opposite, you're going to accidentally see how many 31s can go into 20, which you ask yourself, well, hold on, 31 can't go into 20. So then you're going to get another smaller fraction, not a mixed number. So that should be your warning that you made a mistake there. You got to know you're going to get a whole number, at least 1, maybe more than, maybe 2, 3, 4, and then a fraction. So, because it's improper. More to the numerator than there is to the denominator. So, you got to ask yourself, how many 20s go into 31? 1. So that goes up there. You subtract that 20, and you get 11 left over. What's up with that 11? Well, how many 20s go into 11? None. So the 11 is your remainder, or numerator here. 11 in your denominator always stays the same to be 20 unless you're simplifying. And if you want to challenge yourself and try to simplify this, you ask yourself the questions, can 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 go into 11 or 20? Well, can go into 20, 2 can go into 20, 4 can go into 20, 5 can go into 20. But none of those numbers can also go into 11, which then tells you this is the simplest form. Meaning 1 and 11/20 is the answer for number 2. We got one more today. Because this is only one extra step, I didn't want to, and it's going to take a little longer to do, I didn't want to give you too many problems today. So we're stopping at 3. If you have 2/3 plus 6/8, find the equivalent, find the common denominator, find the equivalent fractions, add them, and then use division to find out what the mixed number is. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so here we are. Hopefully you found the common denominator to be 24 for 3 and 8. Then 2/3, you're trying to see how many 3s it took you to get to 24. Well, 8 of them. So you do 2 times 8 to give you 16. That's your equivalent fraction there. I'm going to bring that down here to add. 6/8. Well, how many 8s can it go into 24? Took you 3 of them to get there. So you do 6 times 3, give you 18. And that you're going to add. You add them up and you get 34. Check your addition. Don't make the mistake. Don't do all this work and find out it was an addition mistake. And so therefore, if you're not 100% confident, or if you once in a while you make a mistake in your addition, go ahead off to the side here and make sure you do it correctly. So now I'm going to get 34/24. 34/24. Numerator is bigger than the denominator, which means my answer's got to be bigger than 1. 1 in a fraction, 2 in a fraction, 3 in a fraction, I don't know. But the answer's going to be bigger than 1. So I'm going to see how many 24s, how many denominators go into my numerator. How many denominators go into my numerator? 1. Okay, well, Mr. Brisbane, how do you know that? Go over here and do your 24 times tables. 24 times 1 equals 24. 24 times 2 is 48. Well, that's too much. So I know it's only 1. So 1 times 24 is 24. Subtract, you have 10. What's 10? Your numerator. Your new numerator. Denominator stays the same as 24. And you can stop right there unless you want to challenge yourself and simplify it. Now, you can simplify this. They're both even numbers. That's the easiest, quickest way to think of this. They're both even numbers, so they can both be divided by 2. The numerator and the denominator. Don't forget your 1, though. I would just honestly put your 1 right there so you don't forget it. So 10 divided by 2 equals what? How many 2s does it take me to get to 10? 5. 24 divided by 2, how many 2s does it take me to get to 24? 12. That's your simplest, most reduced mixed number. 1 and 5/12. But I still accept 1 and 10/24 now. 6th grade, you're not going to be allowed to. They're going to expect you to get down to here. Okay? But that's what we'll stop for this week. And for today, we'll continue on with this in these steps next week, a little bit more when we do some subtraction. Okay? So, awesome job this week. Thanks for sticking with me and participating. Don't forget to do the exit ticket. And we'll see you back here next week in week 4. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.